Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Inconsequential Runner, and we're here with us, Coach Mark. Hello, Coach Mark.
Hello, Darcy.
How you
How
going?
you going?
I'm great. I am
All
great.
right.
Okay, you know how this works. We get you online. Thank you for joining us. I ask you one question, and we knock out the answer to that one question, so people know straight away at the start of the video whether it's for them or not. And let's get into it right now. So the question I've got for you, Coach Mark: someone who wants to run well for 800 meters versus someone who wants to do, say, a half marathon, might they be training the same sort of distance relative to themselves? And the how they're training within that distance is slightly different. Or because they're training 800 meters, they don't have to do as much, as many kilometers per week versus someone who's training for a half marathon. Relative to the person, 800 meters, half marathon, might the number of kilometers they do be exactly the same, or might there be differences? And the reason why I'm asking this question is I've been reading the book by Arthur Lydiard, and
Yep.
I forget the other person's name, someone Gilmore. And
Garth Gilmore.
yes, I knew you would know.
Yeah.
And Lydiard was talking about how Peter Snell, incredible 800-meter runner. Everyone who knows him, right? Of course. He was running the same distance as those that were effectively those were training marathons and stuff like that. And then there
Yes.
was an Australian runner that came over, and
Yeah.
and he was only running about 40 kilometers a week. And when he found out the distance that Snell was running, he couldn't believe it. Like, Snell was knocking out, and you can talk to this better than I, but he was doing close to those 100-mile weeks and stuff like that. Now, we're not going to advocate the 100-mile weeks, but what the question I've got, and thank you for your patience, is for an individual runner, irrespective of the level that they're running at, would they be running 800 meters, the same amount of kilometers training for that as a half marathon? Coach Mark, over to you.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, I just before we came online here, I just jotted down some stats, which I'm not going to go through in huge detail, I think it illustrates the point I'm going to make. So I've put all the distance, the world records for 100 meters down to the marathon.
Yep.
And then for each world record of alongside, I've worked out the meters per seconds per k
Right.
that they've done, or minutes per k, and then seconds per k that speed is. And then from doing that, you can actually see. So you got 100 to 200, etc. The slowdown, from 100 meters, you're obviously running much quicker than you are for a marathon. You see the
Yep.
relative slowdown. So just quickly, so 100 to 200 meters, there's really no slowdown at all. They're virtually the same speed. You get to sort of the 400, that's 11 seconds per k, 11 seconds per k slower than a 200 meters.
Okay.
So there's a bit of a,
per
so there's a bit of a
kilometer,
slowdown there, which is
yep.
why you get top sprinters. They go, why don't they just go? If they run that same speed for 400, they'll win by miles. Which is why it's not that simple. You get to up to the from the 5k to the 10k, there's only 6 seconds per k slower. 10k to the half marathon, a bit less than 6 seconds a k slower, and about 8 seconds a k, 9 seconds a k slower half marathon to the marathon.
Right. Gosh.
Okay.
Yep.
Now the interesting one is from 400 meters to 800 meters. So you think that's not much further. It's only one more lap. 18 and a half seconds per k slower.
That would make sense, because what are you running? Like 400 meters, you're doing your low 40s, and the 800 meters,
you're doing
doing your low
43.
1 minute 40s. So there's another minute.
126.
Gotcha.
For a marathon, the world record was 141.
Okay.
141. Yeah. So that shows you that the key thing there is endurance. There's a big endurance component in 800 meters.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I think I know where you're going with this now, Coach Mark. That data is really handy to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it just sticks out like a sore thumb. So I mean, you just think about about yourself, for example, and other people. So running a sub 30-second 200 meters for many people is quite easy. They can do that without much effort. Stringing four of those together
Yep.
to get a sub 2-minute 800. Not many people can do that.
Yep.
So that shows you straight away it's endurance. You need the endurance. And that's what Lydiard hit on was Snell. He used to say that Snell was the slowest. He was the slowest guy in the race over sort of 200 meters, 400 meters.
Yep.
But he would always finish stronger than everyone else because he could keep it going.
Okay. Oh, that's
and I've done that myself. I used to regularly run. I raced over 800 meters. Again, it was less than 2 minutes of racing, and I ran over 100k a week just as a rule, often quite considerably more.
Yep.
And I tried doing it more from a speed background, just really focusing more on my speed. It just didn't work for me.
Okay.
It's interesting, eh?
Okay.
Now, where people can get away with it, so you get people like Keely Hodgkinson, for example. She runs very low mileage apparently, and a lot of speed work. So you've got someone like her who's a very fast 400-meter runner. So she comes from a real speed background, and I've obviously worked with her that excess mileage would actually blunt that kind of fine balance she's got.
Okay.
That's where I guess a coach comes in.
Yes.
For most of us, though, for most of us, endurance is the key. So you're not training a lot different than you would for a half marathon, but in the terms of that, you want to keep up that continuous base of endurance, which is that long Sunday run should be a staple. I know Nick Willis was asked, what's the most important run of the week? He'd say the long Sunday run. But then, of course, you need to do closer to the event, and that's where Lydiard's athletes, they would split off. So Snell, when it got to the track season, he would start doing very fast 800-meter relevant reps, whereas the people who were the marathon runners would do less of that, and they would continue on the marathon training.
Yep.
So he had that base, but then honed it with 800 type speed, and his mileage would have dropped as well during that period as well. But yeah, in short answer, after all that long-winded sort of answer of mine, yes, you should do pretty similar to a half marathon, but obviously get specific when it comes closer to the event.
Perfect. No, actually quite pleased to hear that, because and as you say, a coach will help and guide you, but it just keeps it relatively simple, knowing that, and especially with you looking at the data, and thank you for that. I didn't even think to do that. But yeah, the data from your 800 meters onwards, it's endurance based. So yeah, if you like running, you like getting the Ks in your legs and stuff like that, that will help you for your 800 meters. It's not a case of, and I'm talking to me here, going, it's only 800 meters. Now I can get away with training, 30 kilometers a week and eat a heck of a lot more pies. It's like, yeah, you can, but you're not going to be able to run like you want to run. It's still endurance based. So those that are 400 meters or less, completely different. But the difference between your 800 meters through to your half marathon, not as big as we think, because of such an endurance component. And we see that in that time gap between the 400 and the 800, which I only know of now because you shared the data. Coach Mark, that is a brilliant insight. Thanks so much. You do have to, as you say, when you get closer to the event, half marathon or 800 meters, run more specific. And that's where the coach helps you out. So those that are watching, again, you know how to reward us. If we've shared something, when I say we, not me, Coach Mark has shared something with you that's valuable and helpful, the only way you need to repay it is hit like. You hit like, boom, it's all done. Hit subscribe, it's free, and that keeps you in the loop with other videos like this. And if you want to get in contact with Coach Mark, his details are in the show notes. Drop him a line if you want Coach Mark to be your coach. All right, that's it. Nice one. I love these. Short, sharp. Coach Mark, thank you so much. Never apologize for a long-winded answer, because I should be apologizing first and foremost for a long-winded question. But I like to think I set them up okay. Whatever. Just trying to justify it.
We both got there at the end.
Coach Mark, thank you so much.
All right.
Catch you soon. Bye.